Now after using the ortho mode, after drawing straight line using the ortho mode, we will learn about the snap mode. Now the snap mode over here is set through a dialog box called drafting setting dialog box. So you can invoke this dialog box by typing DS in your command prompt. So drafting setting dialog box will be open. So you'll see how it works. So or you can basically invoke the snap mode by pressing F9 key or function F9 key, depends upon what operating system you're using. Similarly, the grid mode also you can put it on, invoke it by pressing F7 key for the grid on, and again you can press 7 key in order to put the grid off. So again, snap mode, to put it on, press F9 or function F9. To put it off, press F9 again and press or function F9. Similarly for grid, F7 or function F7 to invoke it, or to disable it, you need to press F7 key or function F7 key, depending upon what is your requirement. Now let's come to what snap mode is. So you can see that in the snap on area there is a snap spacing. So by default the X spacing and Y spacing is 0.5. So what happens, the snap mode restricts the cursor to a particular distance while you are working in a drawing. So it restricts the cursor. Let's say it will jump from one point to the other at a spacing of 0.5 in X and at a spacing of 0.5 in Y. So sometimes when you're working and you need to click on the lines, and you know that first point, when you click on the line first point and the next you want to go by 1 unit, then you 1 unit. So you can basically always have a snap setting on. And similarly, to visualize a snap setting, there is a grid settings which is there at the back. So this is a very old option in a very AutoCAD, and it is primarily used when the advanced tools were not there. So let's see how it works. So you are into now I have put this on. Let's say I can put this off from here. So here I have this snap settings. So now see the grid, put it both of them, grid on and grid snap on is off. So to put it on, so you can go to the DS command, in the command prompt DS, and you can put it on, the snap on and the grid on. Or you can, the moment you see that this turns blue, right, and then either you want to put it off, so you can check the box. Or I am pressing function F9, that is 9 key, basically invokes the snap settings on and off. So you can try it out, and then you have F9 or function F9, whatever suits you. Similarly, function F7 key basically gets a grid on and off, and function F9 is for snap on and off. So now, okay. So now let's see what the snap mode is all about. So now once you are into a line tool, let's say, now you can see the cursor is restricted to a particular distance. So if I click a point, so now the cursor is restricted. The cursor is not so smooth right now. So it is jumping from one point to the other. Let's say now once we have this line, so you can just zoom it out and just zooming it out. Now the cursor is restricted to a point. So here, so see, the moment I'm moving my mouse, it is restricted and it goes like this. For this I have to reduce the cursor size so that you can see it. So the cursor size command is cursor size, and you can put it there, and let's say I put it 10, so you can see, or I can make it more smaller so that you can see the snapping work, right? So you might be wondering how it works. So now let's say I put a particular point, so the cursor is not so smooth, so it is basically hovering to a point. So here you are. So it moves at an increment of 0.5, 0.5, 0.5 in X and Y. Now let's say if you change the setting, you type DS over here for drafting setting, and here I move it by 3 units. So in X and 3 units in Y. So it's equal spacing right now because the checkbox is there selected. So you click on it, and now see, let's have what happens. Now here, once you click on it, the next snapping is basically if you move the cursor, it's in the 3 units. So then it is in the 3 units. So now you know that the cursor is snapping only at 3 units in X, Y, right? So this is a 3 by 3 square is created. So it's a very easy way to work. But now in order to visualize in the screen, I'll again type DS over here, or I can go to the settings from clicking on the status bar, this icon, which is the snap settings. Click on here, and here let's say I put the grid spacing same as a snap setting, and let's not worry about the major lines right now. I'll tell you what the major lines are. So now I have made the setting, but I have to put it on. So to put the grid on, I press F7. So you can see that tiny grids are there here. So I'm zooming it out so you can see the grids are here, right? The grids are visible. So I press L, so you can see that I'm snapping now to the grid points, because the spacing between in the X and Y for snap is same as the spacing for the grid. Now let's take an example here, right? So I'm changing the color of the screen to black so that again you can see it better. So for that I go to the options tool, and previously I have told you, go to the display tab, and here you have the option called colors. Change it to black. Okay, so now you have a black screen. Now it is more visible, the dots are visible. Now let's say I go to line, and I can see now how the cursor is behaving, because here I have put the snap spacing same as the grid spacing. I'm creating a cross over here. So I need not have to put any coordinates or commands, so I can create numerous objects. So now let's say if I go to the DS setting again, to the command you press DS, and here you have the grid spacing as let's say you take it as 1 unit. So let's see how it works. So now the moment you put it 1 unit, the grid spacing is 1 unit, but the snapping, you see that it is 3. So it is recommended that if you're using a, okay, now you can see that how it is snapping. If you're using a grid, right, you should have the setting equal to the snap spacing. So now let's say I go to the DS, and I have snap spacing of 5 units over here and 5 units over here in Y, and similarly I'm giving the spacing as 5 units here and 5 units here in Y. Grid X spacing is 5 and grid Y spacing is 5. So now if I press the line tool, now I can find that these lines are created at a spacing of 5 units in X and Y. So this is the one of the way that we can work in CAD, and then later on you can put the grid off and go to the DS and switch it off. Snapping is off. So now you can see that the moment I draw a line tool over here, so now it's as smooth as anything. So this is about the, and then if I want to put the grid off, so and put it on here. Okay, now other thing that you will be knowing about is, so if I put the grid on and over here, now the line will be visible. So how the line came, so here you have, like in the OS or in the DS setting, there is, if you put the grid dotted in 2D model space, if the dots would be there, the grid lines won't be visible. It is overridden. But if you plan to get the grid lines, then just put the dotted grids off, so the grid lines will be visible. So here the major lines comes over here. So now if the grid spacing is 5 units, then there will be major line spacing after 5 units. So if let's say you have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so major line, here the major line spacings are for this grid line, right? So now you go here, let's say you say major line spacings are after, let's say 10 units. This line will be visible, this is the major line, will be visible after 10 units, 10 grids, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 units here and 10 units in Y. So now if you press the, go to the DS command and put the snap on, now snap is, let's say 1 unit. Let me check it out. Now let's see if I want to create something with the line tool. So again, I'm going at a distance of snapping it. So if I want to have the snap and grid, and here the grid spacing, I want to put it 1. So now you can see, right? And right. So here the snap doesn't work when now you can see that it will work. So it is snapping, right? All the minor grids over here, it is snapping 1 unit, and so the grid spacing is 1 unit right now, and the snapping is also 1 unit. So these are the major lines. So let me sum it up like this. Now, so I want to erase the objects and summarize you what you have learned. Now here you have the screen. So this is the grid off, so you can pull it off. So you can write grid mode in the command panel, also command prompt. So you can have 1 value to display it, or grid mode 0 to put it off. So this is another way of getting the grid mode on and off. So grid mode, so I put the grid mode on. Now the grid mode is on, so grids can be displayed as a dot or as lines. Now if you want to display the grid in dots, so you can have the dots on, or if you want to put the grid display as lines, so just check this out, right? So this is fine. So then again the spacing of the grid. So right now the spacing of the grid is 1 unit, 1 unit, and the major lines, this is the major line, will come after 10 units. So I make it 5 units. So the grid will be set like this, right? So now after every 5 units there is a major lines over here, and the minor line are the line between the major lines. So the grid spacing is 1 unit and major line comes after 5 units. So this is how the grid is set. But in case of dots, there is no major or minor. So you again go to the drafting settings, you can press OS or DS, whatever it is. So if you want to put in the 2D model space the dots, so there is no major lines over here. So the major lines does not work when you are having a dots. So come back. So you press DS over here, and then the snap setting, it's recommended that you have a setting that is equal to the grid spacing. So here, so it will snap over here. Now let's see how it works in the dots. So you have a line tool. So the snap will not work if you're not having any command. So snap will work when you're having a line tool. So now it is snapping from the point grid points over here. So if the grid points are not also visible, like for example, let's say, then also there will be a snap that happened. Let's say if the grid, if you put it off, then also the snapping will be working in your screen, right? So grids are only as a visual tool in order to see that how you are snapping and how you are going to create the. So now the final thing is the lines. So you put the grids on and just put it over here. Now you have the grids. Now you have this lines over here. So now you can have the snap on also. The snap is on. Now you can see that you want to create some object. So let's use it with the help of the grid. So I click on a point over here, 1 2 3. So I know one unit is there. So you have 4 units over here, and then 1 2 3 4 units there, 1 unit here, 3 units at this particular point, and then coming back again you go here and here and here, and then you go back. So so in this you can create a lot of symmetrical lot of line object using the grid. So press escape. So this is all about snap and grid. You have understood, and let's come to the next topic. The next topic is, so setting the snap, now you understood about. Next topic is about the isometric snap grid. You have basically learned in your engineering drawing classes about the orthographic. So isometric is something that iso means same, metric means measurement. Here we are talking about the isometric drawings, where it's a typical 3D drawing, but it is not a 3D model that we are going to do. 3D view in which the lines are inclined at 30 degree to x-axis. So let's see how it works. And here what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the isometric snap and to create some isometric view. So let me put this off and see how it works. So there are two things that you need to do. Put the snap off at this moment, grid off, and go for an isometric snap over here and press OK. Now you can see the cursor has changed to an icon over here, right? So here if you go over here, so then there is something called ortho on. So you have to put the ortho on, because if you put the ortho on, then only you can create lines which are 30 degree and 90 degree. So this is how it is basically worked. So I'll show you how to create some isometric views. Sketch. So this is something I created. This is in the 30 degree to the left hand side. So there are settings over here for isometric. So what are the settings here? So here, this is the icon iso draft. So you click on it. So there are three planes. So one is iso plane left, iso plane top, and iso plane right. So left is something that the icon is X and Y is inclined to the left plane. So let's say I create a line, and remember the ortho should be on. So I created a line, L for line tool. I click on it and click on the first point, and I will go 3 up. So I'm moving my mouse up, moving my mouse left. So my mouse is restricted to isometric snapping. So here we have 5 units here, and then I come back over here, right? So I press 5 units here, come down 3 units down, and so I have a close option. So you can see that the left face is created over here, and I'll just put my snapping on for a particular moment. So right, so here again, now if I want to go to the right face, so what I need to do, I have to select the iso plane right. So here I go to the right face, let's say 6 unit, and then I type 6 unit, then go to the top, I type 3 units, and then this is what I get. Similarly, if I want to click from here 3 units here, let's say 5 units here, and or let's say 6 units, it was 6 units, and then I press here. So this is an isometric view that I am creating. I will create more of it. So this is the isometric right. So in the isometric right, the cursor will move top and into the right. So it will not go to the left. But if you are going with the isometric top option, then what is happening, it is going both left and right. It will not move. That is, it is moving left. It is in the left and in the right. It will not go top. So here you can, if you want planning to create a top plane or a bottom plane, you can basically create it by here. So now let's create something. Let's create some objects in isometric view. So you can basically toggle it by F5 key. So I'm pressing the F5 key. So F5 key is basically in order to have isoplane left, right, and other thing. So the moment I come to the I want to draw something, so let me put the isoplane left on. So let me put the line tool, click on the line tool, go towards left and press 5 units in the left. So you are 5 units in the left, go, let's say 6 unit in the up, right, and let's say 5 units here in the left plane itself, and then you can close it. So I have a face of a box that I'm going to create. So let's see what I'm going to create right now. So now change the isoplane to right. So press F5, or you can go with the status bar. Here you can have the isoplane right. So press the line tool, and here you have this. So there is a length that I want to create as, let's say I can create a length of 7 units here. So here I can do a copy. I cannot do an offset, so I can copy this line over here and enter. Now you can see that it is restricted to this particular point. So I can copy here. So I cannot use the mirror tool or an offset tool over here. Only copy and move is allowed over here in the isometric mode. So from here I want to, let's say, move 5 units above. So move the cursor up and say 5 units, and then further I want to move 3 units, and then 5 units down and 6 down, it is 11 units. And then let's say we have this 3 units over here, so this is closed. Now what I can do is, now I can copy this as we did in the previous one. All these 3 options we can copy it, but this line wouldn't be visible in the isometric view. So then I can join these two, right? Or I can press the F5 button to change the direction. So I have this isometric view created. So now I will create I will teach you how to create a wall face 3D view of a wall, along with some windows openings, so that there's an application of you can learn. For this I will just erase this objects that I have created. So I am at a blank screen right now. So here I go. So let's take a line tool and press the F5 key to go to the right hand side, isoplane right. So I have a 3 unit length of the wall, 3 unit height of the wall, and then 3 unit here and 3 unit down over here. Similarly, I can change the isoplane to the left, so 3 unit here and 3 unit top above and 3 unit back. So I have got 2 faces of the wall, and here we have what we can do. The wall thickness is 0.3. So from here I go 0.3 down, and then I can have change the isoplane by F5. Let's say 2.7, because I subtracted 0.3 the wall thickness, and 2.7 here, same, and then I can join these two. So this is the wall that I have created, 2 faces of the wall, and I want to create 2 windows over here. I go with F5 and change it to isoplane right. I press the L command and click anywhere to start the window. So right now I am not using any of the tool right now. So here we go 1 unit up, and then F5. So you can see the cursor is going in the right hand side. 1 unit here, 1 unit down, and then 1 unit here. So with this there is a face opening over here, and what you can do, you can create a thickness over here. So press the F5 key here and 0.3 here, and just pull it down, and here we go, and F5 key, and you can see with the isoplane top. Now what you need to do is, in order to reduce it, just bring it down, select it, there's a grip that is visible, put it and get it here. So there's a thickness that can be seen. So this is how a wall can be created in isometric view. Now the other thing is that if you want to create circles, so circles in isometric view is basically seen as an ellipse. So the moment you have the isometric snap on, I've not taught you ellipse till yet, but then you can take the ellipse tool, and here the isocircle option is there. So you don't use a regular circle, you use an isocircle in the ellipse tool. Press the 5, and here you have the left, and select the center and give the radius, like let's say 1. So a circle is created. Similarly, if you want to create in this right face, you have this F5 key here, and you know, get the isoplane right and ellipse and isocircle, and you can have the isocircle created here. So this is how we work in isometric view. And in the next this is the end of the session 2, that's the week 2. In the next session I'll be giving you some challenges for the isometric drawings, like a steps or something that you can create and practice while you are working, and hope you can work better. So let's consolidate the session, and let's see what we have learned during this session 2. So we learned about rectangles, we learned about polygons, we learned about polylines, we learned about moving an object, copying an object, and offsetting, rotating, scaling, filleting, and chamfering, and we also learned about ortho and snap mode. right? So in the next week, we will be doing with Object Snap and various other tools that you will learn. Hope you have enjoyed, and thank you.